everyone, it's Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. Okay, if you follow me on Twitter, you know that yesterday, me and Kail Lowry and I got into it, let's just say, regarding a comment that I made on her Twitter. Now, yesterday I did a video where I said that Kail came at me sideways and I'm over it. Well, that's true. I'm still over it. And today I have to say that if you didn't watch my live stream on Instagram, it's posted on YouTube. You can check it out. I'll put a card up here. But I'll show you what happened in a second. But this was not something I made a comment of expecting her to get a response. In fact, over the course of like this entire time I've had this channel, I have reached out to her privately through her like business networks, like for media contacts or for comments. I have emailed her through her business. I have commented on her Twitter a couple times, but not a lot. I've noticed though over the last, 6 months or so that she has been posting a lot of stuff about medical choices that parents make that isn't accurate, disseminating information that's really outdated or misinformed. And as a parent of a child that has medical conditions, some of the things that she puts out there concern me. And for the most part, when it comes to a lot of these teen mom characters, I kind of take it with a grain of salt, and I'm like, whatever, what Kail says about medicine or what she says in regards to whether or not her child will get an immunization is totally up to her. But at the same time, there's just times that I can't keep my mouth shut and I'm just like over it. And I've noticed over the last few months, she's been posting more and more of these like propaganda pieces on her Instagram stories. And they ultimately end up getting removed because they violate the terms of service, because what she posts is actually not true, not factual, and is misinformation. And most of these social media platforms have stances against putting out misinformation. I'm not trying to start a debate, and I would encourage you that if you have questions about this, to always go to the WHO or the World Health Organization or the Centers for Disease Control for all of the latest information on this specific topic. But because of my son's condition, I have long advocated for people maintaining their making sure that both themselves and their children are all current, so that they can protect the most vulnerable people in our society that cannot receive these same shots and who do not have the luxury at all of getting them, or of those that have to get them later or delayed because of their health conditions, or have to get them spread out because of their health conditions. So my family went through this when my son was younger. He ended up catching pertussis from somebody else who was infected. And it was because we were not able to get everything at the same time. It's a preventable illness. And going through something like that, you realize quickly how much we rely on other people to do the right thing. In this world today, there's this virus going on, and we know that there's this mad rush to make something so that we don't have to get it. A way to protect ourselves and our children so that we don't have to be stuck in isolation like we have been for the last few months, or for the last few weeks, and which will probably go on for another few months. And yesterday I made a comment on Kail Lowry's Twitter, and now she is actually being called out in the publications, and that was definitely not my intention, because I have to place this caveat. Kail's never responded to me ever until yesterday, ever. So yesterday she made this comment that said, watching The Staircase on Netflix, there's absolutely no way this man was an accidental fall. Now, I did a non sequitur, which is obviously meaning I commented on something with something that doesn't necessarily make sense. But in my mind, she was saying there's absolutely no way for him to be innocent. And it's the same thing as there's absolutely no way for her to believe some of the things that she does about vaccines, and yet she still does. And so I said, yes, but you believe vaccine cause autism and cancer, another thing that is absolutely impossible. And she said, and you believe that you have any type of credibility here, but to each their own, right? Yeah, I guess, yeah. Jab, 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 blah, blah, blah. And then this person, Brittany, she says, I'm curious, Kail, when a vaccine for this virus is made, will you or your kids get one? And she wrote, absolutely not. That prompted me to respond to her and sort of outline, we're in a situation now where there's over 1 million infections across the world. Tens of thousands of people are gone, and there's no end in sight. And you are saying to me that if you had the opportunity to protect yourself and your children from meeting that same fate, not only meeting that same fate, but spreading the virus to other people because you are not vaccinated, you're not going to do that. You're not going to choose that. That's outrageous, given what we're faced in this situation. It's outrageous that there's people struggling every single day and you would not make that choice. It's outrageous that you would not think about someone beyond yourself or your children and realize that that choice doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone. And we rely on everyone to be a part of the herd immunity to make sure that the most vulnerable people are protected. Well, I was not trying to start this debate, but then this is now what's going on. It's picking up. And on Cosmopolitan, she's absolutely will not vaccinate against the coronavirus. She will absolutely not against COVID. On Entertainment Tonight, she would absolutely not against coronavirus. This is not a good place in history to be. She's making the choice to say this very outlandish statement, and there are people that are currently fighting for their lives, and she was saying, I will absolutely not protect my children from that. That's crazy to me. I can't even imagine that. I want to just read you a little excerpt from the Cosmopolitan article because it's pretty... Hold on. It's pretty telling. It says, don't get me wrong, it's always been a bad time to spew AVAX nonsense, but as a number of confirmed CV cases and related deaths continue to increase, now seems like the worst possible time for fearful skeptics to complain that these immunizations are in more trouble than they're worth. Unfortunately, that's exactly what teen mom Kail Lowry is doing on Twitter right now. This is from Cosmo. For the record, they say immunizations save lives. Refusing to do this puts others at risk, and claiming that they cause autism was later retracted by the medical journal that published it, so don't even go there. The doctor who wrote it also had his medical license revoked. And there's links that you can see that this is true. Because this is the doctor that you guys all see in Vax that you guys claim is this God. But it's all in black and white. Revoked, lost his license. He's admitted he lied. She hasn't given any of these things to Lux at all. And so it says, I'm curious. And then they go through what Kail said. And then when I said 49,000, this was as of yesterday, 49,000 people have passed away and almost 1 million infections so far. I know someone personally who's fighting for their life right now. I just can't. Because one of my moderators is currently on life support. She remains on ECMO, and she's also on a ventilator. My moderator had an underlying condition and had developed pneumonia and has been on a ventilator and ECMO, which is a heart and lung bypass machine, for days. At this point, they're lowering the pressure on the vent daily and hope to get her off ECMO at some time. But this virus, for the people that get it most severe, is not a walk in the park at all. This woman, my former moderator and my friend, will likely be on a form of life support for weeks. And if she makes a full recovery, it will take a very long time. It's unconscionable to think that this is the kind of choices that these kinds of parents would make. But it's, the crazier thing is that now Kail is in the news again for, it's just tone deaf, absolutely not. I would not do that. There's certain hills that you guys can die on. And for those of you that think that this should be a choice, I don't care about choice when it means that we have to protect people that don't have a choice. And those people rely on us to do the right thing. And I feel like all of us need to be doing the right thing for everyone right now. Kail responded by saying, well, that's why she's staying home and social distancing, which is great and fine right now. But these are not the reasons you should be in the news. So a lot of people were frustrated with her yesterday. A lot of people were outraged by her response. It created this massive debate, which, my statement to her, I never expected her to respond to because she literally never responds. And obviously she knew who I was and wanted to start something with me, which is fine. I don't care. Come at me. But at the end of the day, it's not me that looks silly for making these statements. It's her. And I would caution anyone that listens to and follows the advice of any of these people from these shows, and always go to the experts, go to the medical journals, go to the Mayo Clinic, go to the CDC, go to any of these hospitals or universities that have done countless studies, over 120, that show the safety and efficiency of these products. No, they're not perfect. Yes, there can be side effects, but it's extremely rare. No, that doesn't diminish those of you that have gone through it, but we should not be fear-mongering people about them. So with that being said, today I'm feeling better about what happened with Kail, but I really do consider and hope that at some point these people that feel this way, including her, will wake up and realize that when she makes that choice, especially in this environment of where we're at, where she's literally saying, I would not protect my child and I would not protect myself, it's not only selfish, but it's a deadly game. And she might end up on the wrong end of it by making that choice if and when this vaccine becomes available. I know as a mother of a child that's medically fragile, I will absolutely make that choice to vaccinate, and my entire family will receive it as soon as it's available. So obviously this is a heated topic, but one I wanted to finish and put out on a more positive note, that they are, researchers in Philadelphia believe they have found one that will work, and they're going to hopefully start clinical trials soon. They announced that this morning, but it's still not going to be rolled out for any time soon. I mean, it could be up to a year, even longer, before any of us have access to it. But in the meantime, please maintain your social distancing, and always remember that when you make a choice to do the right thing and get up to date and make sure your children are up to date, you're not only helping yourselves, but you're helping the population of people, that small percentage of people that are in the United States that are so fragile they cannot receive it themselves, and that if they were to get these illnesses, they would pass away. We are losing these people every single day by the hundreds because of what's going on with COVID, and there's nothing we can do to help them, but there are ways we can help not spread the diseases that we already have vaccinations for. All right, you guys, I'll be back later with more. Bye.